gamers e games. Gamers e games.
Fala galera da Gamers, tudo bem? Eu sou Marcelo Rodrigues e estamos começando mais uma transmissão. Hoje aqui abrindo os trabalhos para Gamescom 2021, onde nós vamos transmitir o evento da Microsoft, que vai começar em instantes para vocês. Falaram que ia ter legenda em português, mas não saiu até agora não. Galera que estiver nos ouvindo e puder mandar uma mensagem, ver se o áudio tá tudo certinho, a gente agradece, tá? Então vai começar agora e a gente vai acompanhar.
Launched on a home console with the release on Xbox Series X and S last month. Reviewers and gamers alike were blown away by how well the stunning visuals and the depth of the simulation translated to the console, and that's why I'm extremely honored to welcome the head of Microsoft Flight Simulator, York Newman, to the stream. York, thank you for being here. The last time we met was at the Xbox Game Showcase, and it was getting ready to come out on consoles. How did that go?
It went great. As you said, the reaction to the Xbox console launch was...
Fala galera, agora sim com áudio para vocês, tá bom galera?
Gamers and from the press, they've been so gracious with their feedback. I don't know if you know, but Flight Simulator is one of the highest rated games on Xbox this year, which I think is just great validation that the translation of the simulation to the console has really worked well. Our usage numbers are through the roof. We are absolutely shattering franchise records, and I can tell you there have never been more people playing Flight Simulator than right now. So it's an awesome time.
That is awesome. Congratulations on the launch, really. But
Paris puts on a pair of dark aviator sunglasses.
All right.
I want to go to the danger zone. So what's going on with Top Gun?
There's so much going on, Paris. So you and I talked about Top Gun Maverick earlier. The fans are super excited. They saw the FA-18. They can't wait to start flying. And as you know, it comes out later this year as free DLC alongside the movie. But as the movie is still under wraps, so are we. So I can still not tell you that much about it. But there's so much else going on even before Maverick. So we are continuing to do our monthly big releases that we've been doing for a long time. And next month, on September 7th, we are launching World Update 6. And this world update, I mean, at the beginning of the show, if you remember, there was a little red plane flying into Cologne. Well, we did that because World Update 6 updates that region, the region of Gamescom. So Germany, Austria, and Switzerland. And what that means to us is we have new aerial and satellite images. We have a new elevation map that helps us with the mountains. So the Alps actually look awesome now. We have new 3D cities like Frankfurt and Wuppertal in Germany. We have Basel in Switzerland. We have Vienna and Graz in Austria, and those cities look just amazing. They have like 7 centimeters resolution, and it's awesome. But we want to celebrate the entire region, so we picked 100 of the most scenic places, the most famous landmarks, and we call those POIs. And we sort of spread them throughout the simulation. And we also added airports. We did Lübeck and Stuttgart in Germany, and Klagenfurt in Austria, and St. Gallen in Switzerland. And what it ties it all together is missions. We're having new discovery flights, we have new landing challenges, and we have new sort of tours of the country. So they fly you around all the awesome looking places and really celebrate the beauty of this region of Earth. And this is a celebration of DACH, of Germany, Austria, and Switzerland. I'm so happy to be able to announce the date here at Gamescom.
You know, that is really incredible, all the different regions and everything that you're going to have in the game, and the way that you're going to be able to actually highlight those.
Yeah, I think it's really cool. But you know, for us, it's actually not just the region and the visuals. We talked a lot when you study aviation, when you love aviation like we do, you actually realize that a lot of regions of Earth have a very special relationship with flying, with aviation. Sometimes it's, you know, the first experiments with aircraft, or a famous pilot, or a feat of aviation, or like a local manufacturer. So we thought to ourselves, why do we not use these world updates to celebrate the planes? So we are announcing a new series. We call them Local Legends. And think about that as planes that are locally well known, like in that region, but outside in the world, not so much. Yeah. But why not use the world updates to highlight this, to bring these awesome machines to a worldwide audience? So for World Update 6, we picked a German plane from the 1930s. It's called Junkers U-52. In Germany, it's lovingly named Tante U, so Aunt U. And we think of us as sort of a digital preservation. So we really want to get these planes to an extreme level of detail. We're going out of our way to really go deep. So we're doing a full scan. We take full scans of the outside and the inside, as detailed as 1 millimeter, which is as good as you can really do this. And then we're working with, for the Junkers, we work with Bernd Junkers, who is the grandson of the original creator of the plane, Hugo Junkers. And he's helping us. He had a ton of insight and materials. Then we worked with an organization that is preserving one of the last surviving examples of the Junkers. So they let us scan and take photographs. And then we were lucky that to find a pilot that actually flew one of those planes while it was still flying in the real world. And he lets us know, like, is the cockpit right and the sounds right?
Galera que tá chegando agora está vendo aí o pessoal falando um pouquinho do Flight Simulator. Para quem quiser saber mais do jogo, pode acessar o nosso site gamersgames.com.br. Lá você vai encontrar a nossa análise do jogo no Xbox Series X. Então, se você quiser saber a nossa análise, dá um pulinho lá na gamersgames.com.br. Lá você vai encontrar a nossa análise, tá bom, galera? Aí está vendo Nargi Newman, Que é o Reed, né? O cabeça aí do Flight Simulator, Microsoft Flight Simulator.
In perpetuity. And we're actually giving those scans back to the museum so they can do something with it. And it's a great collaboration. And we're actually not just looking back in the history of aviation, we're also looking towards the future. So I have another announcement. We are working with a fascinating German company called Volocopter.
Yeah.
And they're making an eVTOL air taxi for urban traffic. So they have a vision of the future, how these drone type...
Aí a gente tá vendo drone, controlar drone.
engineering team to make sure that we are capturing their plane, their aircraft perfectly in the flight simulator, and that's coming out in November.
I mean, you weren't kidding when you're saying that there's a lot
Chegará em novembro.
of Microsoft Flight Simulator. Is there anything else you want to share?
Yeah, there's one more thing.
Yeah.
I'm so happy to announce that we've partnered with RARA. That's the Reno Air Racing Association. And every year they put on something called the Steel National Championship Air Race. And we're bringing this to Flight Simulator. So this is the fastest motorsport. This is right down your alley. It's the fastest motorsport on Earth. And I actually brought you a little trailer to look at.
So, race, speed. We go into the danger zone, baby. Let's go ahead and show that.
Vamos ver então o trailer. Isso aí, chegando em breve então aí. Vamos ver mais aí uns...
You know I like going fast, and you know I love being in the danger zone. When is this coming out?
Man, these planes, they fly 500 miles, faster than 500 miles an hour, 50 to 250 feet above the ground. So you are definitely going to be in the danger zone. I mean, without going into too much detail, this Reno Air Race is actually the largest expansion we have since we launched on Flight Simulator. It's not just because we scanned all the famous race planes of the world, there's lots of them. This is also the first time when you can basically race against your friends and pilots across the planet. And so a competitive multiplayer is coming to Microsoft Flight Simulator, and that will definitely test your pilot skills. And you ask, when is it coming out? This is coming out this fall, so it's right around the corner.
Oh, that is fantastic. And you know I have the need for speed, so I can't wait to get my hands on this and participate in some of these air races.
Awesome, man. We got you covered.
All right, thank you. If going fast on the ground is more your speed, keep an eye out for an extended look at Forza Horizon 5 later on in the stream. We'll also talk with Wasteland 3's game director about the game's next big DLC. But first, if you're an Xbox Game Pass subscriber, we have some great news for you.
E agora vamos ver aí então mais alguns jogos chegando ao Game Pass. Fala, Chicão, seja bem-vindo. É isso aí, galera. Então a gente tá vendo alguns jogos que vão chegar em primeira mão aí ao Xbox Game Pass. Lembrando que a gente tava vendo O Flight Simulator. O Flight Simulator também está no Game Pass. Se você quiser, já tiver lá, já pode baixar.
Yep, somehow they did it. They added even more games to Game Pass. But let's talk about what's coming up. We're talking Age of Empires 4, the game's creative director, and we're going to see what's next for Sea of Thieves. But now, we've got a new roguelike retro shooter that, in grand retro fashion, sends you plundering through shifting dungeons to defeat a mysterious eldritch terror. Let's dive into the pit.
Into the Pit. Agora a gente vai descobrir um pouquinho mais do jogo. Into the Pit aí chega em dia 19 de outubro. Também chegando já direto no Game Pass.
Well, I am here with creative director of World's Edge, Adam Eisgreen. And Adam, I'm so excited to talk H4, of course, because you've brought something a little different and very special today.
Yeah, I have. So, so far we've been showing everyone kind of what Age looks like from in the game, when you're playing it.
Aí a gente tá vendo o diretor criativo da World's Edge.
Right, through when we unveiled the 100 Years' War and showed Joan of Arc. But we have yet another way in Age of Empires 4 that we're kind of bringing history to life that we haven't talked about yet.
See, you do this to me. You put me in suspense. I want to know more, so let's go with it. Let's hear more.
Okay, wait, you get...
Agora o Saulo vai à loucura lá falando sobre Age of Empires.
What we brought today is we have these wonderful little videos that we've created that are interspersed amongst the campaign, and they're about 3 to 5 minutes each. And we have over an hour of them total, and they're called Hands-on Histories. And what they are is a great way to deep dive on certain fun subjects from the cultures we're representing and just from medieval history.
Excellent. Well, I hear you've actually brought one of those segments that you're going to share here for the very first time.
Yes, I have. We are going to show you the segment on one of the most popular units from Age of Empires franchise and a fan favorite, the Trebuchet.
Excellent. Well, this I got to see. Let's take a look.
Vamos ver então um pequeno trailer aí de Age of Empires.
Trebuchet was the king of all siege engines. A catapult capable of smashing down castle walls from great distances. At Warwick Castle in England, they've built a replica, one of the largest in the world. Originating in 7th century China, by the 13th century, trebuchets had evolved into devastatingly powerful weapons.
Such a simple design, but so effective.
It has several key features. A pivoted arm with a weight at one end, and a sling.
Estão explicando como funciona uma espécie de uma catapulta.
The 6-ton weight is raised using tread wheels.
So this is one of the wheels, one of 2 that's attached to an axle, which would lift the counterweight, weighing 6 tons. It's based on muscle power alone. What's essential about launching a projectile as far as possible is making sure that this end of the arm is moving as fast as possible. So once that weight drops, it really sends this point of the arm moving at its highest velocity.
This was done by positioning the pivot close to the counterweight and by launching the projectile from a sling. When released, the sling whips round, vastly increasing the launch speed. Trebuchets were carefully aimed, like modern guns.
In order to weaken the castle walls or even breach them, you had to make sure that the projectiles hit the same spot every single time.
For each projectile to follow the same trajectory, they all had to be the same weight and shape. To achieve this, masons used a gauge.
Só lembrando, então, amanhã a gente vai estar transmitindo realmente a abertura da Gamescom 2021 com Open Night Live. Amanhã a gente começa a transmissão a partir das 2h30 da tarde, tá, galera? Vai ter um esquenta pro evento principal que começa às 3 horas da tarde. Então, 2h30 amanhã já vamos estar ao vivo aqui para mostrar para vocês as novidades. E aí sim, a gente deve ver bastante coisa, jogo novo, inclusive. Estão falando que a gente vai ver mais de 30 trailers amanhã durante o show principal e mais 6 durante o esquenta que começa às 2h30. Essa apresentação da Microsoft era só para fazer uma atualização dos jogos, né? Então ela está fazendo uma atualizações dos jogos aí. E agora falando um pouco sobre Age of Empires.
Yeah, so, you know, one of the things when we were looking at what we were going to do with Age of Empires 4, there's a phrase I'm really fond of, which is history is only as interesting as the people who taught it to you. And you could say that about any subject, really, right? But I think the great thing is when you have someone that's so enthusiastic and passionate about history, it really comes across. And we wanted to be that kind of teacher for history. And there's a phrase called humanized history that I use to kind of describe what we tried to do, which is we tried to like connect past and present. And you can see that kind of in our briefings as well, where we've got like real stuff with like CG kind of overlaid to show you the history. And so for these, we really wanted to do that same thing. So ourselves and Relic partnered with this amazing group in the UK called Lion TV, and they've done production on an amazing amount of shows and documentaries for the BBC and won every award you can imagine for media. And they travel to all of these locations in all these different countries to meet with these subject matter experts and get all of this great footage on how things really worked and how things were made. And it's been delightful to kind of go through that process and, you know, get all these and finally start showing them to everyone.
I love it. Now, you also, of course, you've got a bunch, as you mentioned, of these hands-on history segments. Anything else that you can tell us fans about what we can expect, looking forward to? Any favorites you got coming up?
Oh, well, favorites. Oh, man. Well, I think my personal favorite is one called Medieval Surgery. Okay. And I'm going to let your imagination go with what we might show and what we might talk about in that one.
Yeah.
But the thing I love about them is that they go all over the place. So, you know, we've got ones on warfare and castle building and like how they kept flaming arrows from not going out when you shot them. And but we've also got all of these ones on, you know, like illuminated history and hawk falconing and, you know, like horse taming, armor creation. And there's even one on Mongolian instrumentation, which is really cool because those instruments, we actually use them in the soundtrack for the Mongols when you're playing as them in the campaign, in the game.
I mean, I just love the behemoth amount of history that you guys... Age of Empires, always known for bringing history alive in a completely different way. And I also love to mention this to people that you and the team do so much research. And it's so great to see this approach being used in a hands-on history kind of segment. But, I mean, what was that approach like to sort of, you know, sell going forward, especially since it's such a unique in-game experience?
Well, the cool thing was it was there from day one. It was one of the things I was really wanted to do is try to tell these stories in a different way. But I'll tell you, like full disclosure, it's been insanely nerve-wracking because we're trying something completely different that no one's ever done before in a game, right? We're we're history, but we're a game, but we're teaching you things, but you're having fun. And finding that middle ground has been really challenging. And you know, every time we've tried to show, we've shown the campaigns or we've shown these hands-on histories, I've been like, oh God, is it gonna work? Like, people gonna like this? And the great thing is so far, everyone that's really experienced the entire thing put together have just been like, wow, this is great. And it's so different and kind of cool and refreshing. So, so far so good, right? But yeah, it's been a journey, you know, to get all this done and put the whole game together.
Well, I love that you mentioned journey because we are coming towards the end of this development journey for Age 4. Talk to me about where people can find and learn more about Age of Empires 4. I know they're all chomping at the bit.
Oh, well, you know, October 28th, we are launching the game. You can go to ageofempires.com to learn more about the title, and if you're really, really excited, right now you can go onto the Microsoft Store or Steam, pre-order the game right now, and of course we will be there day one, Xbox Game Pass for PC as well, so anyone that's on that can just grab the game and start playing. But
yes, I believe you are a part of something very special.
Yes, so Gamescom opening night live.
Yes.
11 a.m. Pacific time. There might be something Age of Empires related in there, so if you're a fan, you probably should tune in.
Oh, a bit of a tease from Mr. Ice Green.
Maybe.
And I like it very much. Adam, thank you so much for joining us here.
Always a pleasure, Kate.
Always a pleasure. Age of Empires 4 looks fantastic, so I cannot wait. October 28th, neither should you. Now, we have tons coming up here today, including a new update for State of Decay 2 and an extended look at Forza Horizon 5 with our friends at Playground Games. But now, let's catch up with Paris, who's gone from flying the skies in Microsoft Flight Sim to a different kind of cloud.
That's right, Kate. Xbox Cloud Gaming is already available on Windows PCs, mobile phones, and tablets. And now, it's coming to Xbox consoles. The future with cloud gaming sounds bright. No waiting to install, no running out of hard drive space.
Galera, então só lembrando, amanhã a gente vai fazer a Open Night Live, é a abertura oficial da Gamescom 2021, amanhã a partir das 2h30 da tarde, galera. Tá? A gente vai estar aqui para transmitir com vocês. Aí sim, com grandes anúncios e tudo mais. A gente está acompanhando a apresentação da Microsoft. Como o Saulo falou no chat, aquela apresentação super legal, né? Aí eles estão falando aí sobre o que está chegando, né? O cloud, né?
That's pretty great. I mean, that's pretty awesome.
This actually looks so good.
Eles estão falando um pouquinho do Xbox Cloud Gaming.
It's super exciting that for our Game Pass Ultimate members, they will get to experience Xbox Cloud Gaming on whatever console they have.
Cloud gaming is really about looking at how people
Xbox Cloud Gaming que não está disponível no Brasil ainda.
I just have 20 minutes.
It should be as easy as finding the game that you look for on your console and just jumping right in.
We're targeting 1080p at 60 frames per second.
What's crazy about this is like the latency. This is the kind of stuff you need with cloud gaming.
Oh, 60 frames? That's actually very smooth.
The process itself to get into cloud gaming feels like you're playing on console, right? You go, you find the game you want, you press play.
It's so easy nowadays. You can pick up any device and pretty much play any Xbox game.
O pessoal do Brasil tá louquinho para poder jogar aí no cloud game, mas ainda não está liberado.
I really love the flexibility. It's awesome.
Everything that Xbox is doing right now is just getting rid of the limits of having to be on a specific platform or a specific console, play on PC and mobile, and now on Gen 8.
Yeah, Gen 8 consoles can play Gen 9 content. Isn't that so cool?
With cloud gaming, we have the ability, because you are connecting to consoles that are in our data centers, to allow the Gen 8 customers, the Xbox One customers, to play games that their hardware wouldn't have been able to play without it.
There's so much opportunity when it comes to thinking about how we can make content more readily available and let people play where they want to. Sign me up. I'm ready for cloud gaming right now. Let's do it. When's the release date? When does it release?
Isso aí, falando do Xbox Cloud, olha lá. Vai chegar aí, então nos consoles aí no final do ano.
August 9th saw the release of the free optimized update for Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice on the Xbox Series S and X. With beautiful and rich visuals, thanks to the addition of ray tracing and improved materials alongside performance updates, this is the perfect opportunity to relive Senua's journey or experience it.
Nós estamos vendo algumas melhorias em Hellblade.
Immerse yourself into this world.
Agreed. Speaking of unique experiences on Game Pass, the Xbox Plays team will
o Saulo tá falando assim, é aquela coisa dos jogadores do Xbox One poderem jogar games do Series pelo cloud, exatamente.
Developers from Halo, the Master Chief Collection, Forza Horizon 5, and Destiny 2. So join the live Q&A to get your burning questions answered. You can
Aí o pessoal vai fazendo a parte de live, né, para quem segue o canal do Xbox. E aí a gente vai vendo um pouquinho de Forza.
never before seen areas of the game map, plus cars that have never been in the Forza franchise before. I've loved everything I've seen of Forza Horizon 5 so far, and I can't wait. Now, Kate, there's more games to check out, right?
Well, right you are, Paris. Let's talk Wasteland 3. Their newest DLC introduces us to a new cult. The Cult of the Holy Detonation.
Holy detonation is life.
Nós estamos vendo um jogo da Exiles, né? Que também é mais um dos estúdios comprados aí pela Microsoft, né? Aí estamos no Wasteland 3. Chegando aí no dia 5 de outubro. Aí, novo. Mais um aí pra jogar no dia que chega, então, no Xbox Game Pass, dia do lançamento.
Like a fine wine, Wasteland 3 just gets better with age. To really savor the game's bouquet, we're talking with inXile game director David Rogers. David, thank you for joining us.
I'm super stoked to be here. Thanks.
So, in the trailer, we saw that the DLC is coming out in October.
Aí o diretor vai falar um pouquinho aí esse novo DLC aí, né? Cult of Holy Detonation.
Non-stop full tilt, trying to make Wasteland 3 the best version of itself it could be. Over the past year since it's released, we've added features, we've balanced, we've listened to the community, we've fixed bugs, added stability, and I really think that the version that we have now is the absolute best version of the game, and if you've never played it before, now's an awesome time to jump in.
Well, congratulations on everything that you've been doing with Wasteland 3. Now, this DLC is called The Cult of the Holy Detonation. Now, talk about that a little bit. Tell me what's going to go into this DLC. What should we be excited about?
Right, so you've heard of Cheyenne Mountain, right?
Yes.
For those who haven't, Cheyenne Mountain is this top secret military complex buried deep in the heart of Cheyenne Mountain in the middle of Colorado. It's designed to outlast a nuclear winter.
Yeah.
And so when you hit level 16, an old friend calls you and says, hey, I need your help securing this secret military base and all the secrets within. And as soon as you get there, you find two warring cults battling over supremacy, trying to take control of the Holy Detonation, which is this pre-war science experiment that they worship out of...
Essa nova DLC aí, nós vamos estar mexendo com cultos mutantes, né? Mutantes que adoram umas divindades, eles chamado Detonation, né? Eles se chamam Sagrada Detonação, né, em português. E eles cultivam uma explosão nuclear. Então, como a gente é os Rangers, nós vamos ter que ir lá e certificar de que isso não aconteça, né? Então a gente vai ter aí mais um novo complexo chamado Cheyenne Mountain. Então eles estão falando aí de Cult of the Holy Detonation. É a nova expansão, né? Digamos assim, de Wasteland 3. Chega em dia 5 de outubro. Chega para PC, Xbox e PlayStation.
And in there, you find this awesome mix of mystery, exploration. You're meeting these crazy cultists who have been locked in this like pre-war time capsule, and some of the raddest boss battles we have ever been able to build in a Wasteland game.
That's awesome. I want to get back to the crazy cultists, but talk to me about these big boss battles. I want to hear more about that.
Right. So we took the best parts of Wasteland combat and we breathed new life into it with objective-based combat, which are basically super rad boss battles. It's no longer you're like huddling in a corner, throwing down turrets, just going on murderous rampages. It's not about killing, it's about getting the job done. And so now, combat doesn't end until the mission is over. We send you on proper combat missions. You're in there breaking into prisons, rescuing POWs. You're disrupting these high-tech cultist rituals. you are splitting your fire team and coordinating like you never have had to before. Like everyone on your team has a job, and I really think this is going to take old players who know their Ranger team like the back of their hands, and it's going to make them scratch their head and really have to rethink how they go about combat and making it new, exciting, and challenging in a like mentally in a way we haven't been able to really do before with just straight up murder combat.
Now, Wasteland has a reputation for getting a little silly.
Right.
What are some of the weird characters we can expect in some of the story encounters we'll see in the game?
Yeah, with Cult of the Holy Detonation, we really got to cut our devs loose and just let them be creative and fun and silly. Like Exile's modus operandi is if we're like brainstorming and something makes us laugh, we just put it in the game. That's just how we do it, and we pick up the pieces afterwards. Because we want to make something that entertains us, and then we know if we're having fun, our fans are going to have fun along with us. And so we got to explore, like really letting you get deep into this like weird radiation cult and let you interact with them and talk with them. And tell stories and like maybe even join them. And so like for instance, one of the characters you meet, one of the first cultists you meet, is this slathering beast. He's got like claws and fangs and spikes jutting out, and he's drooling, but he's like the nicest guy in Cheyenne Mountain. Like you meet him and he's like, hey guys, you should like come in here and like soak up some of these rads, it'll be great. And he sherpas you in and lets you
Galera, então, se você está nos assistindo, não esquece de deixar um joinha no vídeo, se inscrever no nosso canal, que pra gente é super legal. Lembrando que lá no YouTube tem um monte de vídeo bacana pra assistir, hein, galera.
And getting to build like this totally out there wild extreme character was a ton of fun to write for. It's a ton of fun to like explore like what makes this cult tick, and he's an absolute blast. Hell, even some of the weapons that you find in Cheyenne Mountain, they're devolved cultists. Like there's one guy and he kind of devolved into this like vomiting bagpipe creature, and he has this real like kill me vibe about him. But we get to play with these fun body horror themes that let us jackknife between sort of like dark and serious and like goofy and funny, which is a line that Wasteland really loves to ride.
E também para não esquecer que amanhã a gente vai estar ao vivo a partir das 2h30 da manhã. A gente vai dar 2h30 da manhã, não, 2h30 da tarde. A gente vai estar transmitindo o Open Night Live. Lembrando que a Gamers e Games é co-streaming oficial do evento. Então amanhã a partir das 2h30 a gente já vai estar fazendo a transmissão. Tanto para YouTube, Facebook, Twitter e também para o Instagram. Tá bom, galera? Então fiquem ligados amanhã à tarde, a partir das 2h25, né? A gente já vai estar ao vivo. Aí eles estão falando aí, ó, de uma promoção aí, né? Você compra o jogo base mais a DLC, paga um joguinho cheio. Se você quiser o jogo base mais todos os DLCs, R$19,99. Se você tiver o Game Pass, né?
All these really cool things that are going to be in Wasteland 3. But please remind everyone before we get out of here, when can you pick up this DLC?
Right, this Work of Passion, it comes out on October 5th. We're really stoked.
That is awesome.
Galera, quem quiser mandar mensagem, pode mandar mensagem. Está ao vivo aqui, 2h43, vendo aí a galera falando sobre essa nova DLC de Wasteland 3.
Sea of Thieves has played host to some incredible crossovers, including unique ship sets inspired by games like Battletoads, State of Decay, Halo, and more. Today, we're excited to announce a brand new special event that will award players an all-new ship as a part of the latest wild crossover heading to Sea of Thieves. Better yet, this event begins tomorrow. So get ready to make some mayhem, and let's get our first look at this very special ship.
Estamos vendo aí Get Free Mayhem, inspirado em Borderlands. Chegando aí a Sea of Thieves. Saulão falou que ele que analisou Wasteland, né, que é muito bom, um jogo E realmente é um jogo muito bom. E aí eles vão lançar então em outubro a nova DLC. E agora, como vocês estão vendo, estamos falando um pouquinho aí de Sea of Thieves. Chegando essa colaboração aí baseada em Borderlands. Imagina que loucura que vai ser, hein?
So we hope everybody gets a chance to take part in this awesome time limited event. So it starts today and it runs.
Vai chegando o dia 24. O evento começa hoje e vai até dia 7 de setembro.
So as always, I will see you on the seas.
Aí, pra quem quiser então, já sabe, já pode entrar lá em Sea of Thieves e curtir esse evento aí baseado em Borderlands. Making Mayhem, de hoje até dia 7 de setembro.
Hope. It's always been a dangerous world in Trumbull Valley. But now, it's hope that brings us back together. It reunites old friends. It builds new bonds. And in the face of a growing threat, hope is the greatest weapon we have.
Nós estamos vendo aí, então um novo trailer de State of Decay, né? State of Decay, mais um jogo do Xbox Studios. Desenvolvido aí pela Undead Labs. Chegando dia 1º, State of Decay 2. Chegando aí então, agora já dia 1º de setembro. É Homecoming.
Undead update. Please join me in welcoming Undead Labs Director of Communications, Wanda Russell. Hello, Wanda. How are you?
Hello, I'm great. It's great to be here. Talk about the Homecoming update releasing on September 1st. We are very excited to get this into players' hands.
You are indeed. So let's talk about the Homecoming update. Obviously, we are coming back to Trumbull Valley. We were there for Heartland, the update, back in 2019. Talk to me about the differences, and I'll sit right here and listen because you're adorable.
So Heartland is the story mode within the game, but it's a very linear, narrative-driven experience. You know, players couldn't move their communities there. So that's all changed with the Trumbull Valley map. It is the 5th core open-world map. It's fully remastered, and it expands into 2 territories that were completely inaccessible in Heartland. So players can return to Trumbull Valley with their communities, start new communities there, and really start exploring everything that the new map has to offer.
So then, would Homecoming be a sequel then to Heartland?
Yeah, exactly right. So the events in Heartland kind of play out. You see what happens in Trumbull Valley. So we think of it as the 3rd part of our Trumbull saga that began with the original State of Decay game, continued into Heartland, and now we see what has happened since then and what storylines might be coming to a close. So there is a lot for players to discover, a lot of environmental storytelling to find.
Isso aí, então a gente está vendo a Homecoming, né? O novo DLC de State of Decay 2. Deve ser o último também, né? Já que State of Decay 3 já está sendo produzido pela Undead Labs.
Talk to me a little bit about what some of those things are that players can get in on here now in the expanded Trumbull Valley.
Yes, a ton of new content. In fact, we're doing something unique with the Trumbull Valley map. There are items there that you can only find on that map and nowhere else in the game.
Que vai ter algumas atualizaçõezinhas no mapa, nos postos de controle e tudo mais, para quem já está acostumado com State of Decay 2. Então já pode ficar preparado aí. Só é a 25ª atualização de State of Decay 2, que foi lançado lá em 2018.
don't care who sees that second ton of the day. That works out great. But let's talk about the State of Decay community, because it's absolutely an integral part to this entire franchise. And State of Decay being on Xbox Game Pass, how has that impacted the community? How has that impacted the game? Talk to me about those.
It's been fantastic, and we have an amazing community.
Eles estão falando do impacto do jogo chegando diretamente ao Game Pass, né? Falando que realmente é muito bom, que formou uma comunidade.
And we have a major milestone that we're celebrating. State of Decay 2 has 10 million lifetime players.
10 million lifetime
É, falando que atingiu a marca de 10 milhões de jogadores.
Incredible, amazing news. Congratulations to you and the entire team at Undead
Em todo, desde que o jogo foi lançado.
Let's give me the deets one more time when it comes to the update.
So the update releases September 1st. It's a free update for all State of Decay 2 owners, and it's included with Xbox Game Pass.
Então chegando aí esse update no dia 1º de setembro.
My pleasure.
Now we move from Trumbull Valley to the Lost Valley of Acrea. This mystical location trades zombies for ancient warrior clans, forgotten temples of long-dead god kings, and a healthy dose of hack and slash. All this awaits in Strayblade.
Strayblade. Strayblade chegando em 2022. Strayblade que já faz tempo que foi anunciado, né?
In Strayblade, you discover the mystical lost valley of Acrea, a world which ranges from overgrown temple ruins to frozen caves and winding canyons. A game world that changes based on your victories.
Lembro que se falava de Strayblade lá em 2019 e tudo mais.
You even get a fuzzy little pal to help you out. Between the epic fights and this small guy, there's clearly a lot going on here. So let's hear more from Point Blank Games about Strayblade.
Hello everybody, I'm Leonard Kausch, Game Director at Point Blank Games, and today I will show you Strayblade. Strayblade is an action RPG where you play a rogue adventurer who is exploring the ancient valley of Acrea with his companion, a witty wolf named Boji. Unveil the history of the Forgotten Valley, master the powers of the 3 Acrean metals to restore balance to this war-torn land.
That is the how, as well as the why.
Combat and exploration are the 2 key elements of our game. Let's dive into the combat first. Our combat system merges strategic anticipation of enemy attacks with split-second blade-to-blade reactions. It is the high noon of skill-based melee weapon combat. To achieve that, we put our hearts into creating fluid, well-readable animations and epic cinematic finishers. You can choose from multiple weapon categories that can be combined to fit your playstyle. Now, let's take a look at the exploration. Acrea's colorful world ranges from overgrown city ruins to frozen caves and winding canyons. Together with your companion, explore the deepest corners of an ever-changing world, bristling with adventure. Every discovery holds treasure. Find rare materials, recipes, weapons, lore pieces, and beautiful places. Change is part of your journey, where every victory impacts the world around you. When you die, time keeps moving forward. Enemy skills stay dead. New foes invade camps that you weakened.
Podiam bem anunciar uma data realmente para Strayblade, né? Strayblade, agora que eu tava caçando aqui, ele foi anunciado na Gamescom 2019. Então aí fazendo 2 anos do seu anúncio.
We hope you enjoyed the first look at Strayblade, which will be out next year.
E já tem uma data para chegar. Chegando, é lógico, chegando então no ano que vem, mas ainda sem uma data. E aí a gente vai saber um pouquinho mais de Crusaders King 3.
Yeah, unique. As in, my evil twin murdered 4 of my husbands because they secretly are in love with me.
In case that didn't tip you off, we're talking about Crusader Kings 3, the medieval grand strategy and role-playing game that has you trying to defend your royal line from those that would conquer your kingdom, and evil twins apparently.
Yeah. It's coming to Xbox as an adaptation, not a direct port, meaning that the UI and controls have been refined to bring that grand strategy experience to a controller.
Not to mention bringing the grand strategy experience to my comfy living room couch.
We'll all be ruling from our throne room soon enough. Check out Crusader Kings 3 now, coming to Xbox consoles.
My son, we must never forget the crimes committed against us. Your father sought his glorious revenge and failed. He never understood that the greatest wars are won with weddings, not warriors. With daggers, not swords.
É isso aí, estamos vendo então o jogo chegando aos consoles de nova geração, né? Até então o jogo da Paradox só tinha sido lançado para PC.
The real game is played across generations. You see, real strategy requires cunning.
É isso aí, chegando então a família Xbox aí. Tô só conferindo ver se ele vai chegar também, mas eu acredito que, como falou, consoles de nova geração, acredito eu que vai chegar também.
Well, it's nice to have hobbies. We've all gotten into some weird stuff this past year.
Para PlayStation 5, mas vou conferir aqui.
Exploring their mental universes projected into a psychedelic 60s wonderland kind of weird?
Exactly that kind of weird, which means I am so excited for Psychonauts to finally...
O jogo vai chegar diretamente no Xbox Game Pass. E aí o Psychonauts 2, né, que está sendo lançado também. Obrigado ao Xbox Brasil. Mas que está chegando também no Game Pass. Teremos lives dele em breve aqui.
Psychonauts had humor, whimsy, and surprisingly heartfelt moments. It was an oasis of color and humanity in an era when games were increasingly turning grimy, dark, and combative.
Not to mention having some deceptively deep character moments.
That's why the original is considered a cult classic.
It has been a long time coming, and it is finally here. Enjoy this long-awaited launch trailer for Psychonauts.
Vamos ver o trailer aí, que deve ser o trailer de lançamento, né? Brincando aí um pouquinho com 007, né?
I'm not supposed to check out equipment to interns.
You did what? Can't we just...
No. Quit picking on the new kid. We were all new once, in case you forgot.
I've got eyes on the target. And I've got eyes on me.
Galera que é fã do primeiro jogo, pode ir tranquilo que você vai gostar do segundo, tá, galera?
It wouldn't be the first time the Psychonauts underestimated Maligula's power.
Leave it to me.
É isso aí, Psychonauts 2. Chega amanhã, né? Chega amanhã ao Xbox. Pra quem tem Game Pass, chega diretamente. Também pro Game Pass. E já digo com antemão que vale muito a pena. Se você gostou do primeiro, vai valer muito a pena com certeza um ótimo jogo aí chegando no Xbox e para quem tem Game Pass, chegando diretamente no Game Pass. Olha lá, lembrando então que amanhã, a partir das 2:30 da tarde, nós vamos estar fazendo o Open Night Live. Nós que somos co-streamers oficiais do evento, então assista aqui na Gamers e Games, que ajuda muito a gente também ver uma transmissão aí oficial mesmo, um co-streaming oficial. Aí o Tim Schafer, o cabeção lá da Double Fine, né? Double Fine que realmente gosta de fazer histórias bem legais, jogos da Double Fine sempre são muito interessantes. Às vezes não tem um gameplay excelente, né? Uma jogabilidade às vezes um pouco datada, mas são bem legais os jogos da Double Fine, vale muito a pena. Double Fine que é bem conhecida, né? Pelos jogos que ela fez lá no começo da década de 90. Vale bem a pena sempre curtir, né, os jogos da Double Fine, né? Como Psiconautas mesmo, Broken Age, Brutal Legend. Nossa, tem jogo pra caramba. Green Fandango, né? Green Fandango, tava esquecendo. Eles têm muito jogo legal. E aí eles fazendo aí o Psiconautas 2.
So there's a ton of variety, and there's a lot of anything goes. We can go to any location, we can have any art style, and coming up with new levels for the second game was really fun to do.
Bom lembrar sempre que Psychonauts 2 chega para PlayStation, chega para Xbox e também para PC, tá, galera?
Psychonauts 2 has got it all over the place, I'm sure.
Yeah, it was really important for us to carry forward the unique brain worlds and unique levels from the first game, and the unique style as well. So we're really focused on how we could bring forward that style in Wonk and also bring in new levels and enemies.
Now, of course, it wouldn't be Psychonauts without new mental demons, and I'm sure it's happening in Psychonauts 2. What does this mean? Does it mean basically is that we're finally able to slap COVID anxiety in the face?
Well, I don't know if you get to slap anxiety in your face, but you definitely get to slap some panic attacks, and COVID definitely caused a lot of those. In addition to panic attacks, some of our old enemies have also come back. Our sensors are our favorites, and they're definitely here. And in addition to that, we also have our doubts and some new enemies. There's our lovely sensor. Also, some regrets, some flying regrets. There are a ranged enemy, and they definitely are challenging. Our doubts are our slow, sticky melee enemy. You're also seeing our enabler here. It energizes our whole combat troop. So we have a whole cast that you can battle and fight with.
Including the new bad mood.
Including the bad mood.
Which is...
It's an electric storm of feelings that you have to fight.
Now, for those who haven't played the original, available now on Xbox Game Pass, by the way, wink. Tim, why is Raz so good at rummaging through brains?
Raz he has some very special skills. He has two whole sets of skills, one being the acrobatic skills he learned growing up in the circus. He can balance on tightropes, jump on trampolines, swing on trapezes, and that helps him navigate and get around to all kinds of interesting places. But he also has this other side to his personality, which is that he's a powerful psychic. So he can levitate objects, he can use telekinesis and pyrokinesis. He has these powers which people might recognize from the first game, as well as 3 new powers for the second game. He has the ability to mentally connect thoughts together, and he can connect 2 thoughts and actually connect 2 thoughts together to solve puzzles and to navigate in this game. He has the power of time bubble, which is just change and slow down how things are moving by changing people's perception of time. And he also has the power of projection, which allows him to pull an archetype, a personality, out of his unconscious mind and bring it into the world that he's in, like a companion in battle or in puzzle solving.
But let's talk about the story for a second, because as the original Psychonauts, we saw Raz training to be part of an organization, and now perhaps part of a whole organization at this point. And are there other brain agents, other Psychonauts out there that maybe grew up in a completely different circus?
Yeah, we have a lot of new characters in this game.
We do. We have a lot of new characters in this game. As soon as Raz arrives on the headquarters, he immediately gets introduced to the interns. and the interns quickly tell him and show him how he fits into the organization.
The bottom.
They're right down
Right
at
at
the bottom.
Yeah, so earn his way back to the top again. He's no longer the coolest kid in summer camp.
Realmente a Microsoft ela precisa rever essas suas apresentações, né? Com certeza muito jogo legal da Microsoft, mas essas entrevistas assim, bem perto desses eventos, né? Esses eventos como Gamescom, E3, o pessoal quer mais ver as novidades, os trailers, as atualizações, mas é muita conversação, é muito bate-papo e muita coisa, muito bate-papo furado, diga-se de passagem. Digamos assim, num bom português, é uma encheção de linguiça absurda. Mas faz parte, né? Estamos aqui para mostrar para vocês o que acontece sempre no mundo dos games.
Thank you so much. We're very excited.
Thank you.
And you can catch more of Tim Schafer and ask him those burning questions about the newest game in the fan-favorite franchise in our Xbox Play stream tomorrow. But first, we're going from cleaning out mental cobwebs to cleaning up alien planets in this supremely satisfying 4K 60 trailer for The Gunk.
A gente vai ver então The Gunk.
I don't like this weather. I'm pretty sure the ship's insurance won't cover alien storm damage. You have to be careful out there.
The gunk's eating everything here.
O Gang está sendo produzido pela Tenderful e pela Imagiform e a Tenderful Development. É um jogo de aventura e ação. Tá previsto para chegar agora mês que vem. É, dos mesmos produtores de Stanward. Vai chegar diretamente aí, ó, no Xbox Game Pass. Mas não mostrou a data, né? Chegando aí, no... podendo ser jogado no primeiro dia.
Great job on that flight sim interview.
Oh, thank you. I mean, talking to Jorg is always a blast, and Flight Sim is such a special game to me because, I mean, it's literally letting me travel the world. But...
Saulo falou assim, estamos aqui para mostrar blá 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 de sempre. Poderia ser apenas um release. Com certeza, Saulo. Faz parte, né? A gente tem que aguentar aqui, né? Mas é isso, a nossa função é levar isso para vocês e aguentar tudo isso, que o Saulo falou, podia ser resumido, bem rapidinho.
Yes, don't forget, Xbox Plays will recap all the week's news throughout the week at twitch.tv/Xbox, so make sure to check that out. Before Kate and I let Playground Games take the wheel, let me just say that it has been our distinct pleasure to chat games and nerd out with everyone today.
Oh, it's hands down the best part of the job, for sure.
But we're far from done here.
Too true. Now, in June, Playground Games announced that Forza Horizon 5, the highly anticipated follow-up to 2018's breakout hit open-world driving game Forza Horizon 4, arrives on November 9th on Xbox consoles, Xbox Game Pass for console, PC, and cloud, and of course...
And if you're watching our Xbox YouTube channel, switch over to our Xbox Twitch channel to see all this new exclusive content.
And that is twitch.tv/Xbox for the full vroom vroom experience. And if you're already watching on Twitch or one of the Forza channels, stay right where you are.
Without further ado, let's dive in, starting with the new custom Forza Horizon 5 controller, which is available for pre-order today, so players can have it in hand by November 9th when the standard edition of the game launches.
E olha lá. Um controle aí especial aí vindo do... Lembrando que há um tempo atrás o Phil Spencer falou que tinha gostado muito do controle do PlayStation 5. Aí o novo controle, então, aí já tá podendo ser comprado.
Forza Horizon creative director Mike Brown and Forza Horizon art director Don Arcetta. Hello, everybody.
Hey, everyone. Hi, Charlie.
Hey, Charlie.
Hello.
How cool is this?
That is stunning. Look at that. Well, we obviously just saw a really cool video about it, and I'll be the first to say there is an amazing influence of Mexican car culture and music literally splayed right across the front. Isn't that right?
Absolutely. It just feels
Aí falando sobre o novo controle aí.
just dropped out of the game into your lap.
Absolutely.
Absolutely love it.
And there's so much we do want to show.
Bem colorido, né?
Difficult to decide where to start. So, can you maybe tell us a bit more about the game, Mike?
Sure, yeah. So Forza Horizon 5 is bringing the Horizon Festival's unique brand of fun and freedom to beautiful and vibrant Mexico. Players are going to set out across the largest, most diverse...
Falando um pouquinho de Forza Horizon 5, né, que vai se passar no México. Todas as informações você pode encontrar lá no nosso site gamersegames.com.br. Inclusive tem uma matéria lá com mais de 25 minutos de gameplay do jogo.
It also has vast canyons, hidden temples, awesome, beautiful historic cities, and even
Eles estão aí falando que o jogo vai ser sensacional, com os biomas. A gente vai encontrar um pouquinho de tudo lá.
So yeah, our Mexican HDR sky captures really illuminate the world to the point where you feel like you're really there. And thanks to the Xbox Series X and S, ray tracing is utilized in Forza Vista to really make our cars look
Falando um pouquinho de como vai ser os gráficos, usando ray tracing.
all rendered in striking realism.
Oh, that's such an exciting overview. I cannot wait. And next up is something we know that Forza Horizon fans have definitely been waiting for the most. Mike, what exactly is that?
Yeah, that's right. We are about to reveal the cover of Forza Horizon 5, featuring the incredible Mercedes AMG 1 and the 2021 Ford Bronco Badlands. Should we take a look?
Let's do it, yeah.
Vamos ver então um vídeo aí. Forza Horizon 5. Olha o Jeepão. É um Bronco. Parece... Chegando dia 9 de novembro. Também para quem tiver o Game Pass. A Ford Bronco. O Saulo falou que era o Ford Bronco. Desculpa, muito bem. Está à venda no Brasil. Caramba, é igualzinho o Jeep.
Marks the first time a car features Formula One hybrid technology almost one-to-one from track to the street. And with the 2021 Ford Bronco Badlands, you know, that's primed for...
Até o farolzinho lá na frente, o LED no farol é chupadaço do Jeep.
Yes, so in a few moments time, we'll be kicking off a Forza Horizon 5 Let's Go stream, and everybody should check that out for a big deep dive into loads of new content and features from Forza Horizon 5. But before that, we have 8 minutes of brand new gameplay, where we're going to see both the Mercedes...
O Saulo falou que ele é mais moderno que o Renegade. Bom, nessa discussão com você eu não entro não, cara. Quem manja de carro é você. Eu só sei dirigir. Olha lá, falou do Bronco, tá aí. Ford Bronco, nós vamos ver ele caindo do avião. Vamos ver um trechinho de gameplay aí.
take control of the 2021 Ford Bronco Badlands, atop of the towering, snow-capped Gran Caldera volcano.
See you on the other side! Follow that car! Past me!
Uma coisa que a gente nem tem, não precisa nem perder tempo falando, é a qualidade gráfica dos Forzas, né? Agora então a gente vai ver o AMG, né?
So now we see the 2020 Corvette Stingray tearing up the asphalt.
Não.
Dust storm in the Mexican farmland.
Outtrack the storm! Sigue adelante! Keep going!
É, eles adoram usar essa água na câmera, né? Com esse efeito já bem usado em todos os Forzas. Uma tempestade de areia ali na frente. Cuidado com os flamingos. E agora a gente vai ver os biomas, né? A gente tá vendo os diferentes biomas que a gente vai encontrar em um Porsche. Os biomas jungle, né? As florestas. Aí outros jogadores participando, né? Se a gente tivesse um jogo mais normal, né? A parte online dele também é bem bacana, do jogo, sempre foi. Ah, tá. Aquele avião passou debaixo da ponte. Uhum. Oh. Nem no Flight Simulator a gente não faz isso.
You're not gonna believe your eyes when you see this. Keep going.
Galera que tá assistindo a gente, não esquece de deixar um joinha no vídeo, se inscrever nos nossos canais, principalmente se você não é inscrito lá no canal do YouTube. Acho que tem outros vídeos de gameplay, vídeos de análise. Vale a pena você, assim que acabar, se você estiver assistindo numa outra plataforma, ir lá no nosso canal do YouTube e se inscrever. Agora sim o Mercedinho, AMG. Eu tinha confundido com o Corvette lá atrás.
And on the final leg, we have the stunning Mercedes AMG 1 at full speed across Mexico's sun-baked Rocky Coast.
Esse corre. Né, sem dúvida, Saulo. Saulo tá brincando aqui, falando que no Flight você não faz isso, que é um simulador. O Horizon não é, e não é mesmo, é um arcade. E um belíssimo arcade, né? Galera, mais uma vez lembrando, amanhã nós estamos ao vivo a partir das 2h25, mais ou menos. Que nós vamos estar transmitindo, então, o Gamescom Opening Night Live. Evento apresentado pelo Jeff Keighley. E a gente vai estar transmitindo, então, a partir das 2h30 da tarde. Você, 2h30 de evento, sendo meia hora aí, um pré-evento. E depois mais 2 horas de evento, conduzido, então, pelo Jeff Keighley. E a gente, lembrando que a Gamers e Games, ele é um co-streamer oficial do evento. Todos os eventos do Jeff Keighley, então fica atento que nós vamos estar transmitindo ao vivo amanhã a partir das 2h25 da tarde. Estão previstos mais de 30 novos trailers em 2 horas lá e também mais 6 trailers também que a gente vai ver amanhã a partir das 2h25. E finalmente aí terminou essa apresentação da Xbox, que abriu aí as participações aqui na Gamescom, né, de todos os participantes, né, todas as publishers. E então vou repetir agora eu tô aqui ao vivo, então vou falando com vocês, estão me vendo aqui, então eu vou repetir. Amanhã, a partir das 2h25, a gente tá então com o Gamescom Open Night Live. Evento apresentado pelo Jeff Keighley, e nós, como co-streamers oficial do evento, a gente vai estar transmitindo para vocês aqui comentários em português. Eu vou estar aqui apresentando, quem sabe aí o Saulo também esteja, mas ele tem outros compromissos também, é assim que funciona. Então eu vou estar aqui apresentando para vocês. Estão falando que vão ser mais de 30 novos trailers, e no esquenta ali, a partir das 2h30 até as 3, vão ser 6 novos trailers apresentando vários jogos para todo mundo, tá bom, galera? Esse aqui foi essa apresentação da Microsoft. A gente já sabia que não ia ter grandes novidades, iam ter só algumas atualizações de alguns jogos, principalmente falando em termos de Game Pass, né? Se você não tem Game Pass, você tem um console Xbox, vale muito a pena você ter o Game Pass, porque jogos como esse, como Forza Horizon 5, como Psychonauts 2, Sea of Thieves, todos os jogos estão lá, sempre Day One, no Xbox Game Pass. Tá bom, galera? Sou Marcelo Rodrigues, eu encontro com vocês amanhã, então, a partir das 2h25 da tarde. Só ver se o Ricardo vai estar. Ah, legal, eu não vi ele falando. Então o Ricardo vai estar comigo amanhã a partir das 2h30. A gente vai estar apresentando junto, então, eu e o Ricardo Calonga, o Open Night Live, tá bom? Galera, um grande abraço. A gente se encontra então amanhã às 2h30 da tarde. Falou, pessoal, até amanhã então.